You're listening to the ReachCast Show, your weekly stop for the latest and greatest in the Planetside 2 universe and its community.
What's going on, guys? It is March 25th, 2013, and you are listening to episode 26 of the ReachCast Show. I'm your host, Torkz, and with me tonight are my honored co-hosts, Noxx and Deringer.
What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody.
This week's episode is brought to you by our listeners across the pond. You know who you are.
Righto.
And also by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on our website, ReachCastShow.com. That helps us pay for shipping for prizes we send out and broken show gear, stuff like that. We played with Imperial Reach, 666 Devil Dogs, Azure Twilight, Outfit X, and Rage Quit this week. All great outfits. You should check them out. And we got a very long show for you this week. Well, not very long. Long show for this week. Like good patch notes, great community briefing, a new segment, which we will reveal at its due time. And
Dun, dun, dun.
Deringer has a couple things to say before we start into our patch notes for the week.
That's right. It's about time I stepped up on the soapbox and took over the beginning of the show, as I should every week.
You're not kidding.
I appreciate the laugh. No, I just wanted to let all our loyal listeners know that we are going to be bringing back our t-shirt campaigns. Starting this week, we're going to be offering our red, blue, and purple t-shirts again for the TR, the NC, and VS. So if you guys missed out on the first round of t-shirts, we will have a second round. So I know a few people we've talked to have expressed some interest in getting their hands on a t-shirt. So your chance is coming up soon. By the time you listen to this show, the campaigns will be live. They're all going to be at Teespring again, and we will have the links in the show notes for this week's show. Second, you all have heard us talk about the Support the Show tab on ReachCastShow.com, and we're just going to make a general push for more people to head over there and give us a hand, because the three of us are definitely going to be going to SOE Live this year, and we're looking for some donations to help get us there. And our plan, as we've stated a few times, is to do a live show at SOE Live, and we'd love to have you guys there listening to the three of us talk live as well. So if anybody's feeling generous this week, we'd love you to head on over to ReachCastShow.com, hit up that Support the Show tab, use our Amazon links, our Newegg links, or just our general PayPal donation link. Any amount is appreciated, and you guys are the best.
That's a good sum up. All right, guys, patch notes.
I'm going to get these mosquitoes in the air and rain down some hellfires on those fools. Oh no! What the f***? I should have listened to the ReachCast patch notes.
That harp never stops bothering me. It's so soothing.
Your cat never stops bothering me.
Well, so Game Update 5 came out, and that caused or released one of the big anticipated items, which was account level unlocks. Some information on the account level unlocks is the NS11 GameStop rifle, as Deringer was wrong and I was correct about, was not included in the account account.
Like how you tossed that in there. Deringer was wrong.
Yeah, he was wrong.
I was wrong and I was sad. I expected it to be included, but what do I know?
I know, right? Jeez. The Max Burster Arm was, which I was delighted to find out, vehicle weapons on common pool vehicles such as the Lightning, not so much. I was a little disappointed about this one, but hey, because they used the Zephyr as an example, so I was like, oh, maybe all my Lightning guns will. No, they didn't. And Smedley tweeted today, we are going to do cert grants for people who bought the same items on multiple characters. So I guess that's for you're gonna get certs for the station cash you spent rather than station cash back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair.
That's good. Better than nothing, right?
I wonder what obviously the expectation would be if you bought a decimator for 700 station cash, you'll get 1,000 certs. But what about the vanity items that were double purchased? Because I know I purchased some skins. I bought the Amarish skin pack, I think, or whatever it was. So I wonder how that'll go.
Should go well.
I wonder if
I'm sure they're going to look at your account and say, denied.
Oh, that Noxx fellow? No.
This is banning you outright.
He does nothing for us.
There'll be some DB query that they're doing, and it'll say where not equals Noxx.
You're going to get one cert for every item you double purchased.
So certification notification improvements as well were in this update, which is like the animated counter. If you've noticed, when you log in, it goes up the little thing to your total, which is kind of slick. And
how'd that go again?
It goes.
Okay, there we go.
It displays a little bit longer too, which is nice because I don't know. Sometimes you maybe have missed it because you were distracted with a cat or dog bothering you.
They are very bothersome. For those that are listening, that's Noxx's cat. We actually recorded it before the show, just crying incessantly.
I took the dog out and he went nuts, apparently.
So next up in Game Update 05, there were some client stability improvements. Now we're talking server performance improvements to improve gameplay. They also made sure that grenades are no longer getting stuck on your screen. I know this was an annoyance where you'd run around a corner and all of a sudden there'd be a red grenade just sitting there, and I know many times my heart jumped and I was like, oh my god, grenade, and realized later that it's just a leftover grenade. And there were some issues with weapon attachments that weren't working, and they all should be working now. Obviously, if you are still having any issues with weapon attachments, you should submit the standard bug report. Also, there is still a known issue regarding Game Update 05. Some attachments which were purchased prior to Game Update 05 being launched are still unable to be equipped and are unavailable altogether. Just to let you guys know, they are collecting information on the affected parties and will be granting those items back within a couple days. So to hopefully just stand by and wait for that information to be pushed through, and they will notify everyone when that has been completed.
Had a couple patches actually after Game Update 5 as well. And one of them was a rather significant patch in my mind. Empire-specific rocket launchers were released. You have the T2 Striker, then NC-15 Phoenix, and the VS-22 Lancer. So if you guys haven't played with these, I would highly suggest picking up the one of your Empire. They're all very, very fun to toy with.
Do we want to talk about what we think of them? Because I think we each used them.
I was going to say, are we going to talk about these later in the show anywhere?
We are actually, yeah. Yeah, we're talking about them later. Yeah.
Because I know Noxx and I have some pretty decent thoughts on these things.
Yeah, we'll cover them in the research labs. We'll talk about them there. There's a client stability improvement also with 322 hotfix or patch, and it was it was said in the notes. I don't know much else than that. All factions can now use the Burning Resolve armor decal, and lock-on UI for air-to-air missiles has been fixed.
Like Torkz said, there were multiple server maintenance items. There was also one on 323 where they fixed some issues with the Phoenix's camera control. They also fixed the fact that the Phoenix was giving some class ability issues. They also made some changes to the Lancer, specifically with the iron sight accuracy, the hip fire accuracy, and just some general particle effect and cosmetic adjustments. And one thing I wanted to go back on that 322 patch. I know you guys weren't experiencing much of the lag or the desyncing issues, but they seem to have all been fixed for me with these last couple, the game update and the 322 patch that got pushed through. So to say that I am thrilled would actually be an understatement right now.
Woo!
The final patch update that we wanted to go through is actually regarding GPU physics. And if you are a lucky NVIDIA graphics card owner, unlike me, the GPU physics option should now appear on the graphics setting page.
And it's awesome!
Yeah, I will agree with Noxx that yes, turning the GPU physics on is spectacularly awesome, but I don't like it.
It hurts your performance, doesn't it?
And it's not hurting. Let's make sure we clarify. It's not hurting your CPU or GPU performance.
Killing performance.
It's hurting your ability to kill enemy players. When I was at PAX East, I got to play PlanetSide 2 with the GPU physics turned on all the way, and I was doing a biolab assault, and I couldn't see anything with all the sparks flying around.
You know what I have to say to that, though? Is like my experience with it was total ADD. Like, I'd be shooting at somebody, and then I'd stop looking at the person I'm shooting at and the sparks that my gun was creating. It was, I was like, oh, this is amazing. There are some things I don't like about it, though.
Do tell.
Do tell. Well, the vehicles, when they explode, now a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's not realistic, but I don't care about that. I think it looks spectacular when you're on the ground next to a vehicle that explodes and all of a sudden your screen's just covered in sparks. What I don't like is I was flying in the air, or if you're off in the distance in a tank and see this happen, if you notice, it's like a firework. It explodes in like this perfect sphere, and there's no randomness to it. And I'm sure that's something they're working on, but it just really kind of ruined the sense rather than made it more immersive.
You know what my response to that is?
What?
It's not realistic.
I mean, sparks, I'd like to more... Whatever.
Well, either way...
You can't get a physics card to get physics if you're a diehard ATI fan.
Yeah, well,
True.
I'm not going to spend the money on it. But I think our consensus is that if you have an NVIDIA card that can support this, you're doing yourself a disservice by not going out, getting the most recent GeForce drivers and experiencing it just to see what the game looks like with these physics turned on. Like I said, being an ATI user, I was blown away with how amazing this stuff looks.
Absolutely. Community briefing.
Attention, soldiers! Get your butts in here for this week's community briefing.
Oh, well, this one I'm not very excited to talk about. This is the roadmap updates, Game Update 5, and updates post Game Update 4 post by Higby. Well, there are some bad things in there, to be completely honest. They shifted a lot of items around in the roadmap. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out. You'll notice a few changes to things like max updates and light assault updates. But the big thing is, you'll notice Hassan just kind of vanished off the roadmap, and Higby addressed this in the thread that he created. And it was mostly due to performance issues, which I'll talk about. F&O they brought up that the reason is why it's delayed, from what I understand. But it's being delayed by 4 months. And tell me that's just not a bit depressing.
It's a bit long, is really all that I can say.
It's depressing to me.
How many times have I said on this show that I expected Hassan out last week? I seem to say it every month, and now...
I personally requested that Klieg get it done by my birthday. Klieg. I always call him Klieg for some reason. That Klieg get it done by my birthday. And that's obviously not going to happen now.
Well, for various reasons, as we'll find out in your F&O recap.
Partly because I can't pronounce his name correctly, I guess. But
Torkz, what are your thoughts on this Hassan delay?
There's nothing good to say about it. It's a continent that we'd all love to play on being delayed by 4 months, possibly 4 months plus. So I don't know what to say other than I'm disappointed. And my silver lining to that is I keep hoping that they get this lattice-like system in here soon, and hoping that helps drive the game a little bit. But as it stands now, I'd really, between continent locking and Hassan not being released in the near future, I'm kind of disheartened.
One thing he did address about Hassan being delayed is one of the big concerns is obviously, well, people are now still stuck on Indar at this point. And he did
notice that he even used the term Indar side?
Indar side, he did. And who can argue, though? I mean, even big servers, Amarish and God, Esamir are empty or barely full. But a couple things he addressed to this is they are working on the bonus system to get everyone into the other continents. So underpopulated continents are going to have a few more XP and cert bonuses, I suppose, for going there, which is good, positive, rather than just locking Indar. Just being like, sorry guys, you can't play in Indar anymore. So that's a good thing. And with the Hassan thing, they also moved down. I don't think he said it this way, but this is just my thoughts, is they also moved the continent locking down with the Hassan to unscheduled. And I imagine that's because they understand that Amarish and Esamir would be locked almost instantly and everyone would be stuck on Indar. So and then he did address as well that most of these unscheduled things that are moved down there are still being worked on and have a lot, if not full attention. Hassan specifically has full attention of all the map makers and whatever texture people that go into that, like John Roy that was interviewed. So yeah, still being worked on, just a lot of problems.
In his post, he did also state that some of these lattice-like changes should be coming in Game Update 06, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but that wouldn't address the Indar side issue, just battle flow.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. I hope it helps, as I think it will. But Higby also tweeted out this week that Connery and Helios will be merged in the near future, which I'm happy about. Connery is active, but it needs to be more active, and Helios has a good VS population that Connery could use. So I think in general everybody affected will be happy with the merge, hopefully.
It felt like just days before this announcement, people in 666 were like, oh, they need to merge Connery with something. This is awful, blah, 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 blah.
The range of your voices, like your inflections, continues to amaze me. Like, because that is exactly how it sounded in 666. Like, no, Connery doesn't get merged to him.
Well, you'll note that Higby's tweet was a direct response to Sardis of TRG, so certainly it's not just 666 that was feeling the pinch on Connery. And I play a lot on Helios, so I will happily.
I'd be glad to hunt you down.
My Vanu Brethren Connery
and kill your ass.
Yeah. Whoa!
I can't wait for you to sit on a hill and put a phoenix right in your face. And just
as I shoot it down with my
walk
Lancer.
Away. You won't even see it because you'll turn around like you always do to people, and you'll be able to see it happen. Just boom,
that's right
in the back of your head.
How's I just face that, not the back of his head?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because Torkz is so good at getting that rocket to turn around. Something that Higby couldn't even do in his video.
They'll circle around you like a tornado until they impact you. It'd be great.
Well, speaking of Empire-specific rocket launchers, Higby also had a number of tweets, actually a flurry of tweets today, regarding some changes now that people have gotten their hands on them and had a chance to play with them. So we picked out just some of the ones for each of the Empire-specific rocket launchers. Starting with the Lancer, he said that they're going to get a reduction to charge time, they're going to get a range increased, they're going to get a decreased damage fall off, and they're also going to give you the ability to hold a charge at level 3 for a few seconds before it firing. The Phoenix should get a minor damage buff against aircraft, and also camera effect similar to night vision that obscures infantry at long range but highlights vehicles. Finally, he said that they're playing with the lock-on times for the Striker. They're pretty happy where it is for the most part, so it might not change too much, but that there should be some kind of change to the Striker itself. Now, one other thing for Lancer users out there, I was actually given a tip in my live stream last night. Someone said
I saw this. It was a good tip.
Yeah, someone said that if you are, because the way the Lancer works, if you don't play VS, you can zoom in on somebody and then hold down your trigger to start charging it up. And if you don't know, there is a way to cancel the charge and save your ammo, is if you just use your knife Or actually, I also tried it, and if I just scrolled through to a different weapon, it also saved my charge and didn't waste my ammo on the shot. Now, of course, I had been all night charging up to 3 and firing at the ground and wasting a bunch of ammo because I had no idea. So, you don't remember who posted that, do you, Noxx? Because I forgot to write it down.
No, I can't remember for the life of me.
Well,
People do things in Twitch with me all the time, and like 2 days, not even 2 days, the next day I'm like, who was that? I don't know.
Well, there was one guy on my channel, his text was purple, so I assume he's Vanu, and a big thank you, and the community will thank you too for getting this information out there. But how about we talk about Friday Night Ops, which I didn't get to watch.
Friday Night Ops. Maggie was at PAX East, so she was not on, and Clegg was in his place.
I can confirm that she was at PAX East.
Clegg took her place, and he and Jimmy did a pretty good job. Well, no, it was a good job. Pretty good job makes it sound like they did an awful job. It was good. It's entertaining. They're good. This is part of what Deringer hinted at about, Clegg no longer on level design. He's no longer making maps. The man known for making the biolab, famous for making the biolab, no longer on level design. He is on weapons now. So that was some kind of interesting news.
Was there no elaboration as to why?
No elaboration as to why. They just said he switched.
Let's make an assumption right now then.
Okay.
I don't have one.
Oh, I was going to say maybe because Maggie's so busy with the community that they needed somebody else and he offered to help.
Maybe he just really screwed up a map.
Clegged up a map.
He really clegged up a map.
Maybe
that would imply that it's being delayed for 4 months because of Clegg. And
he clegged up Hassan so bad.
Let's not say that.
He clegged up Hassan so bad that he's on weapons now. That's what I heard.
Let's not say that. That's mean.
Maybe he wants to develop a weapon that shoots like galaxies out, like a people. So, I don't know.
Clegg, we love you. We're just kidding.
All right.
Well, I'm reading.
No, yeah, you're reading the next note, and you're like, I don't know about this.
You know what? I take that back.
Clegg hates the Celtics and will not visit Boston. This is a very important piece of information that I felt like taking down.
Why? Why does he hate the Celtics?
Maybe he hates.
He's
Larry
not
Bird.
here to respond.
Is he a Lakers fan or something? I mean,
he is California. Like
I assume
all
he's a
over.
Lakers fan.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you know what? I hate Clegg. And you know what? I'm never going to visit San Diego. Take that. And the Lakers suck. You know what? The Lakers fucking suck.
Oh, man. Making Torkz edit. All right. Well, moving on to the actual F&O content, we have an interview with John Roy, or not we, but Maggie interviewed John Roy, and it was actually a really cool interview. There were a lot of really great questions. John Roy does color palettes and textures and trees, shrubs, grass, flowers. He does a lot of the natural terrain and texturing to the maps, and it seemed he was really calm but he seemed kind of passionate about what he did. So some of the good questions were, what's happening? All right, sorry. Some of the good questions are, what inspires you to make alien world environments? And he said when he's flying, he'll look out the window of an airplane and just see all the beiges and the different colors, and that inspires him. Movies, and a lot of it's real life. Just a lot of, which is another question down, is, do you pull things from real life? And he said Esamir is inspired by Antarctica. Amerish is kind of based on Scottish Highlands, but then they went from there and expanded on that. And then he almost told us what is inspiring the new continents, but then caught himself. So he and his team fix textures that level designers destroy. So when level designers go and move rocks and whatnot around, they have to go and mess up what they broke and make that smooth and look good. His favorite continent is Esamir, and this is the primary continent he worked on, from what I understand. But he likes, and I quote, the cool coldness of Esamir, which I thought a good phrase. He enjoyed making the color palette for it. And this got asked twice, I think. But he also then worked on the reflection in the snow, which he explained a bit how all the layers involved in creating the reflection from the sun. So that was pretty cool hearing him talk about that. Another question asked was research into procedural generation of the terrain. Procedural generation is basically automated generation, whereas PlanetSide is completely handcrafted, and the most procedure that they use is basically it's going to be this big, give us a thing, and then they play with it. It has its drawbacks, which even though it's faster, as he worked this way on Star Wars, and he said it's very stale and just not you don't really get a sense of it being an immersive environment. And so SOE chose to handcraft all of PlanetSide 2 because it gives a really nice sense of place. The environment needs to have giving everything an artistic touch. So that was pretty cool. He also gave a shout out to TRG. He plays as Caffeine. So kill Caffeine, kill him good. And then he plays, TR. That's a TR outfit on Connery too. So if you want to hunt him down. Then Clegg and Jimmy answered a bunch of Twitter and chat questions. Two of, I think, the most informational ones would be, will we get fully underground bases? So core combat, right? Which no one likes, or a lot of people don't like. Clegg wanted to say yes eventually, but a big problem is performance. And this is what a lot of the Hossin trouble is when you have players on top of each other and underneath the ground, it really starts causing a lot of performance issues. And the last thing they want to do is release something that creates more performance issues. So that was good information gathered there. And then different melee weapons. And the simple answer was yes. That's all we know.
Awesome. Higby also did a good Empire-specific rocket launcher video this week.
It's not F&O anymore, right?
No, we're done with F&O with Clegg and Jimmy and their Celtic hate, I think. Yeah, Celtic
hate. Jimmy loves Boston.
Jimmy loves Boston.
Jimmy can come to Boston anytime. I'll show him a good time.
The Empire. So Higby did the Empire-specific rocket launcher video this week. We'll link it in the show notes. He also showed off the buggy a little bit. There's not too much more really to say about that. I would like to get to Deringer to talk about his PAX experience.
Well, let's talk a second about the buggy. Just because we got to throw in the caveat of what Higby said about the buggy.
This is not done.
Yeah, because it looked terrible.
Well, it's not textured, right? It's not, right. I mean, it's missing a lot,
So if you're watching the video, just make sure you're aware that it's not textured properly and it will look different. So yeah, there was this little thing called PAX East last week. And let me tell you, this is really...
Did it end yesterday?
Yeah, it actually did just end yesterday.
It's hardly last week.
Well, I only ended up going one day, and I tell you, for next time around, I'm definitely buying the 3-day pass, even if I just go to a couple days out of the 3, because it's totally worth it. I had an amazing time there. I was completely exhausted at the end of it, but that one day I jammed so much awesome stuff into that one day. And I have to say, I was excited because I finally got to meet Maggie face to face. Yes, she is as awesome as she appears on Friday Night Ops and all the other live stuff she does. I also got to meet up with Todd Carson and Omid Dariani and Brass. They were hyping a new game called Dragon's Prophet, which unfortunately they didn't give a heck of a lot of information regarding during the little meetup. And maybe that's just because I didn't get a chance to go and talk to them directly. But I also did get to meet one other thing about the Dragon's Prophet. They were giving out beta keys, and I totally lost mine.
Oh, fail.
I really am. And I got a t-shirt and a beta key, and I put my stuff on the ground and totally forgot to take the beta key with me. So I guess I won't be playing one. Yeah, I guess I won't be playing Dragon's Prophet anytime soon.
Maybe they listen to the show and they'll send you one.
Perhaps they do. If they do, cool. If they don't, it's my fault. So, like I said, I did meet a bunch of PlanetSide 2 players who were at this meet and greet at the end of PAX East. I only ran into one person during PAX East itself, And this was Rack Habit of the Jar Squatters on Matherson. And believe it or not, he was wearing a ReachCast t-shirt. I was blown away.
Yeah.
That someone was actually at PAX East wearing a ReachCast t-shirt.
You texted that to us, and I was like, no way.
I texted you guys immediately because I was very geeked out by it. And I'm sure he will confirm that I was probably a blathering idiot talking to him because I was very awestruck that somebody was wearing one of our t-shirts there. So, Rack Habit is actually a big Twitch streamer. So if you guys search out RAKHABIT on Twitch, he has his own channel and he does a lot of PlanetSide 2 stuff with the physics turned fully on. Definitely check him out. I did also get to talk to Java and Porkwipe. Yes, PORKWIPE of Z Company. Java, as you guys will remember, was someone we interviewed a few weeks back for the Wounded Warrior Project. So it was real good. I was really happy to meet him and really thank him for the work that he did on the Wounded Warrior Project. And, got a chance to talk about all the money that they raised for that. And, the two of them, really cool guys. Very happy to meet and talk with them. Like I said, they're both a Z Company also on Matherson. There's a theme here. Just about everybody I talked to is on Matherson.
Well, it is PAX East.
Yeah, no, I know that. I did also run into Mono, who does play with Imperial Reach on Waterson. And you guys will remember Mono as the one who did the flash race that we promoted a while back. Another awesome, cool dude. I was very, very glad to meet him and talk to him about, everything he's doing in game and the show and stuff like that. And the final person that I actually talked to directly, I kind of feel bad because I think I might have the name wrong, but I believe it was Jonto of Black Widow Company, also on Matherson. I talked to him briefly, and we're probably going to set up an interview with Black Widow Company down the line based on my conversation with him. But then a couple other Black Widow guys showed up and dragged him right away from me, so I didn't get to talk to him as much as some of the other people I talked to. But I had a great time at PAX East. I really can't wait for next year. And looking at all the tweets that Maggie did while she was there, I think she had a great time at PAX East as well. And again, it was great to meet all the PlanetSide 2 players that showed up.
I heard you schooled some kids at Magic and saw an awesome hat.
Yes, I did. I did join a Magic tournament, which was a 4-booster draft, and I went 5-1 before I had to get up and walk away because it was taking too long. Yes, I schooled a few people. I have to say I'm awesome at Magic. What can I say? And yes, I did see an awesome hat. They were actually selling at the PopCap Games booth. They were I think they were giving away walnut hats.
Oh,
and if
nice.
anybody who played Plants vs. Zombies know the walnut with the little eyes on it. Yeah, the hats were awesome. They were also giving away plush zombie heads, but I didn't get one of those.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were giving them out until I went to the Marvel Heroes panel while I was there, and one of the guys in line with me, he's like, "I'm so glad I got my plush zombie head." And I was like, "Where the hell did you get that?" Because it was definitely cool. It was like the size of a hacky sack, and it was definitely cool.
That's cool.
But, I mean, like I said, I only went one day, and I'm really kicking myself for not going two, because there was so much to do at PAX East. And I had so many different things I wanted to go to and just didn't have a chance because there was so much in there.
Couldn't finish your Magic tournament. That's what really matters.
I did walk away. Well, there's stuff with the Magic tournament. They said it was only going to be 11-1, and then 1 o'clock rolled around. We only finished the first round, and they said, "Oh, it's going to go till 6." And I'm like, 6? I got stuff to do. So, yeah, I think the only other thing I did at PAX East is I got to play Blizzard's new game, Hearthstone, and I'm really impressed with Hearthstone. I got to play Eve's new first-person shooter, Eve Dust, which is only available on the PS3. That was pretty cool as well. Very reminiscent of PlanetSide. And I played a couple other just random games while I was out there. Again, I had a great time, and anybody who is listening to this that's on the East Coast, if you don't go to PAX East next year, you are missing out. I mean, Rack Habit, he drove up from DC. What's your excuse?
Sounds way more fun than MLG was.
I think it was like 10 times as big as MLG.
Yeah.
Say the venue's a little bit bigger.
Not that
I
MLG
think.
wasn't a blast, but yeah.
Well, I think I've talked enough about PAX East. Should we move on to our community question of last week?
I think so.
All right. Well, last week we asked you, will your outfit field a team for MLG? I think the consensus was that once again, we got a number of excellent responses. You guys are doing great with your responses to these questions. They're kind of, it's not what we expected when we first started this. We didn't think we'd get a lot of responses, but
You're
making
it sound like they're first graders. Good job, guys.
Good job, children. You will all receive stickers at the end of class.
You get a star.
1 gold star each. No, well, I mean, when we first set out to do this, I personally didn't think that we'd get the good discussion that we're seeing in these questions. So I think both my co-hosts here will agree that we're getting a lot of good stuff out of these. But without further ado, this question, I think it was like 99%, was that everybody said, no, we don't like esports. We won't play esports. And really only one person said, oh yeah, I'll play esports. So, I mean, the consensus is that most outfits will not be fielding a team for MLG. And we even talked to Azure Twilight last week and asked them the same question. And they had a great response to the question, saying that it's something that's on their radar, but they didn't want to alienate people.
It can create clicks.
Yeah, it
They
can
made a
create
very good point.
clicks within their outfit, and they really didn't want that to happen. Not that they didn't say that they're not experienced in MLG type playing, but
Cal.
yeah, the majority is that most people do not want to play esports, and definitely don't want to play esports in PlanetSide 2. Now, we're going to go into our thoughts, and I know, Noxx, you are chomping at the bit to go first.
Am I chomping at the bit? There's no way. No way I want to play. I'm done with competitive gaming. I played Counter-Strike, and I spent at least 40 hours a week playing Counter-Strike, practicing, doing scrims. No, it's not happening. But I do think it could be really cool, and I have a lot of opinions on esports and PlanetSide, and I'm going to be putting a lot of that stuff on the blog. I'm estimating at least 3 or 4 more blog posts about it. I think it could be something really good, but we'll see. I know I initially said I was not into esports at all for PlanetSide. I didn't think it would work, blah, 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 blah. But now that SOE is committed to it, I want to help explain why it can work. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I won't do it though. It's too much time commitment.
I'm looking forward to watching it happen. We don't have an active role in making it happen, but seeing a 48-on-48 fight and having it well observed and reported on and casted will be a lot of fun to watch.
I think I agree with Torkz that I may not be the most into esports, but I am willing to have an open mind. I did run into Golden Boy at PAX East.
Totally cool, dude.
He did agree that he would start schooling me on esports, so maybe we can work to set that up. But I don't know that I would really play it as much. And again, I don't know if the outfits that I'm a member of are looking to field a team for MLG either. But I'm on board to see where this goes and see what they can do with it. So I think that's the comments that I have. Well, let's bring it full circle because we have another question this week. So this week we would like to know, how do you feel about Hassan and continent locking being moved to an unscheduled status? As always, we will have a forum post up this week that you can respond to. You can also call in or send us an email, as always. And thank you for replying.
All right. And as we said at the beginning of the show, we have a new segment for you guys. The new segment's name is ReachCast Community Clash.
Oh, you should have let me.
Prepare yourselves! This is the ReachCast Community Clash.
You trying to say something,
I was
Noxx?
gonna say you should have let the bumper reveal the name. It's more grandeur than like, yeah.
True. Alright, guys, we had talked about this, and we love feedback from you guys. We love interacting with you guys as the community. So we are starting a new segment each week that ties into the show that we will be doing Thursday evenings. So each Thursday evening, we will be doing a Twitch show, live Twitch show with the three of us, where one of us will be playing and the other two will be there talking with the community, commentating, whatever else. And we look forward to having some time with you guys to interact on a closer, more, individual basis.
More intimate basis.
Yes, more intimate basis. We hope you guys check us out on Thursdays. We would love to talk with you guys on a more intimate basis. And starts at 9 EST Thursday evenings, and the segment name, as I said before, is the ReachCast Community Clash. And next week we'll give highlights on what happens this week, and we'll kind of follow it from there. We'll have giveaways, dog tags, everything else. We'll make events as it goes on, but it's mainly just to have interaction with you guys. So, looking forward to it. And
An example would be of giveaway type things would be like hunting me down. This week on the stream, I had, I want to say Izanagi created a Vanu character to hunt me down on Connery, and ended up finding me when NC was fighting TR, no Vanu in sight. All of a sudden, the scythe comes flying in and nails me with rocket pods. Quite the commitment to create a character and buy rocket pods.
Nice. We
So,
want to also say the Twitch followers, we're going to do a little contest. So this week, we're having a contest. We're going to give away 5 dog tags. And those 5 dog tags will be picked at random from the group of people that do one of 2 things. All the followers that are on Twitch by the end of the week, new ones and old ones that are already there for the Twitch channel. And anyone that wants to email us in thoughts on current segments we do, segments you'd like to hear more of, or new segments and ideas for them. So again, that's any Twitch followers. The Twitch channel is what, Noxx?
it is twitch.tv/ReachCast.
Okay. And also the email is reachcastshow@gmail.com. You can email us again, like I said, with new segment ideas, segments you've already heard that you'd like to hear more of, or segments you'd like to hear less of, just criticism or feedback period of our segments. And that is that's our contest for the week, and we hope to see you this Thursday. With that being said, we are going on to the research labs.
I thought I would combine a little of this with a little bit of this. Yes. I'm going to create the ultimate force.
Please equip your personal shield unit before entering the ReachCast Research Labs.
Alrighty, so we got another research labs, which is rockets, except this time it's the ESRLs, Empire Specific Rocket Launchers. And a friend of ours did this work for us, which we greatly appreciate, Mr. Tick. Much kudos to you. So we just got some damage reports on these suckers for you guys, so you can have an idea without having to go out and find the spreadsheets that do all this, which exist, but, sometimes finding that stuff can be pretty hard. So, he did a Sunday test with the new launchers, and also tested them against the air units, or the ESFs, I believe. It's basically the Lancer, which is the Vanu one, right? Yep. It's 5 full charges will kill a Sunderer, which he says takes about 36 seconds. The Phoenix takes 5 shots to kill a Sunderer as well, and that is 28 seconds about, and 23 seconds fire. Oh, I guess fire starts after 23, I suppose that's what that means. 4 shots to start a fire. So the Striker is 32 seconds, 3 full clips, 1 clip remains to kill that Sunderer. then on the air, the Lancer does less than half damage. The Phoenix brings it to almost burning, and the Striker just slightly below half, which actually surprised me. I had that one happen in game where I'm flying my Reaver and I got the lock, and then the first 2 rockets hit, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna die now. And then it's just like tong, 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 tong. And I didn't die. I was still at plenty of health. I was like, oh, interesting. So, but that's good, because that'd be awful if it one shot and locked on and the others don't lock on.
Yeah, that would be a little bit OP if it one shot killed the ESO.
Yes. And it sounds like the Phoenix is going to do a bit more damage too from the patch notes.
It sounds that way.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's fair, because it's the hardest one to hit the air vehicles with.
Yeah.
The Lancer, which is, by the way, Deringer, who disagrees with me on this, is extremely easy to hit.
It is not.
Something to note, which is actually something in F&O I forgot to bring up, is Jimmy said that the Lancer graphic gives the perception that you need to lead your target, and he confirmed that it fires so fast that unless this thing is like extremely far away, like basically out of its range, you really don't have to lead your target to hit it.
Then perhaps I just need to practice more.
You might be leading too much.
I spent 2 or 3 hours last night with the Lancer, and I don't think I hit a single aircraft that was flying around. And I'm talking about ESFs. I hit plenty of Galaxies and Liberators.
Yeah.
The ESFs just go too fast.
He said the graphic made it deceptive for how fast it was moving.
And even so, you
really don't need to lead that much.
You try and do it with a full charge of 3 charges, and getting the timing down right with the air flying over it. Like I said, maybe I'm just not that good.
You just got to keep your mouse on target while it's charging.
It's not that easy.
I think you don't need to lead it very much at all. It's from the way it sounded.
Well, I'll retry it some more with less leading. I don't believe that I was leading it much to begin with, so
try no leading then.
Because I know that it fires it fires pretty quickly. Like I said, my issue was getting up to that 3rd charge and keeping the aircraft in my sights the entire time, because they're zipping right by the screen.
Yeah, sometimes they're moving quite quick.
I'd be interested to hear your feedback on next week. The conclusions kind of take out off these is Lancers are powerful, but they're more organized, kind of more of an organized anti-vehicle weapon. So if you have multiple people, because of their travel time and their speed, if you have enough people organized in a group to do it, they can be extremely effective. There's not much more to say than that. The Phoenix is extremely powerful, as we all know. Takes some organization as well, and it's very powerful up close as well as at a distance. If you can, it takes a little bit of getting used to with the maneuvering of the missile.
It moves like an aircraft.
Mm-hmm, it does,
if you have aircraft inverted, remember that, because I did not know that and it threw me off.
The Striker, he, in his opinion, is like a little bit better version of the Annihilator, which I can't really argue that much because the comparable damage isn't that much more, and it's still just it's a lock-on weapon. It's not that much different than the Annihilator, so I can see why he'd think that. So
what do you guys think? Because I have my opinions.
I love the Phoenix. I'm still, like I said before, similar to what he said, it's taken me some time to get used to, because what would I call this? The out-of-body experience of launching a rocket each time and not like on-the-fly movement. I'm used to just quick scoping fire, quick scoping fire, quick scoping fire, and running. But when you're sitting stationary, you're firing. I mean, they're awesome. It's just that it's a little bit throws you off your pace a little bit for me. So I'm getting used to it.
I will say the only one of the 3 that I spent some time with was Lancer, and as I said during the Azure Twilight interview, I bought it as soon as it was available. Well, as soon as I was able to log in the game after coming home from PAX. And I agree, it is very weak as a solo weapon, and it does require a coordinated group of heavy assaults to all be hitting the same target to take it out quickly. You know what else I'm disappointed about in the Lancer? It doesn't have the right sound. I was so mad when I loaded in, pulled up my Lancer, and started to shoot it, and it didn't make the right sound. It just had that great sound in PlanetSide 1, and I expected it to be in PlanetSide 2. By the end of the night, I went back to using my Annihilator.
You did?
Yeah.
So speaking of the Annihilator, I think he said the Striker's a better version of the Annihilator. I completely disagree. I think it's complete crap compared to the Annihilator. Because it required... Okay, so I did some testing with this one because I was interested. And all of my predetermined thoughts were true. The pathing, it's all about the pathing. And the pathing is just... It's not very good. Like, if you shoot it up, trying, like, to lob it over something, or if the guy moves behind a rock, it just... There's no curvature around the rock. It just changes direction immediately, slams into the rock. I think it's... And you have to hit with all five of them to do, like, the same amount of damage as the Annihilator. So, at least against air, I just don't... I think ground, it does do more damage than the Annihilator. They made it weak the same about as the air for a reason, but it felt really kind of like smoke, just moving behind objects. Just those rockets, when it only hits one rocket, is just not very effective. It's kind of like firing the Lancer one by one, which is just completely ineffective. You have to charge it. The Phoenix, I think, is by far the best one.
One last thing I have to say about the Lancer and the Phoenix. And it's something that I need to test some more in-game. I noticed that when I was on the back of a rumble seat on a Flash, that if you're just holding the Lancer out, and the same thing goes with the Phoenix, that you can see a reflection in the little scope. And I don't know if you can actually use that to see things that are in front of you when you're on a rumble seat. Did either of you notice this?
I did not notice that.
No, I didn't notice that at all.
When you're in game next time, look, there's a little reflection, and I can't figure out if it's a static image that it changes as you scroll left to right, or if you can actually use it as like a rear view mirror to see where you're going on the Flash.
Reflections
awesome.
are not uncommon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a real reflection. A lot of older games have done it.
That'd be pretty sweet. Okay, you guys
and the thing is, I noticed that the Striker has just a flat red viewfinder to it, and it does not have the same reflection as the Phoenix and the Lancer do.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there has tested this, let us know.
The Phoenix also reloads the coolest way, too.
I agree there.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah,
sweet.
it's pretty sweet looking. Okay, we have one last thing before we go to the good, bad, the OP. We haven't done ReachCast Stories from the Battlefield for a couple weeks, and want to get some quick feedback from you guys. If you guys want to hear some more of it, tell us. If you don't, tell us. That's just a short of this. I won't go into it too much. But with that being said, we will go to the good, the bad, and the OP.
Have another drink on me, soldier.
Okay, thank you kindly.
If you can look hard enough past all the death and all the sorrow, there are good things. You must remember that we will overcome. The good, the bad, and the overpowered.
All right, I believe that I am first this week. I bet people can guess what my good and bad are going to be, but I'll tell you.
You got a dog?
Yes. My good is that my wife finally caved and I got a dog. No. My wife hates dogs. I will never get a dog. My good this week was PAX East. PAX East and more PAX East. While as my bad was, I should have gone to one more day of PAX East. Next year.
I like that. PAX. My good for the week is I've been forcing myself to learn the Infiltrator, and it has kind of revitalized the game for me in a lot of ways. Having to learn different play style entirely from what I'm used to, which is run and gun light assault with shotgun. You know, I'm switching to more preparedness and
sneaky deaky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's fun. I suck at it initially. I'm just getting murdered, but I'm slowly learning, and I'm having a good time. That's my good. My bad is, for some reason this week I've been having some major problems with this game crashing on me. constantly. Just every, I don't know, it ranges anywhere from 15 minutes to every half an hour. I'm getting a crash, and I can't determine why. It happens at random times, and it's getting fairly frustrating. But that's my good and the bad for the week.
My good is I played a lot more than I have in the weeks prior to this week, and I had a blast playing. I had a blast streaming. It was a lot of fun. I also have only one more round to win to be ranked in Counter-Strike Go. It's exciting. Then my bad is my dog has become unpotty trained. I don't even know how that's possible. But today, for example, she's fake peeing outside. And I even look, and she's like peeing just a little bit, just enough to satisfy me. Then I bring her in after walking her for 15 minutes and having her go take a poop. I come in, 10 minutes after I come in, she's whining to go back out, but I think she wants to play. So I play with her a little bit. But no, there's pee on the ground shortly after that, and it's just a huge mess. Like, why didn't you do that outside? Driving me twice today it happened. And once yesterday, and I'm becoming infuriated. Looks like I'm taking her out. Why aren't you going?
And meanwhile, while you're outside, your cat's going crazy inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the cue for the cat noise.
Absolutely. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Let's hit the mailbag up.
Oh, it's a perfect morning. Great timing, the mailman's just coming.
Morning. Here's the mail. Big bag.
He must be ready to get away. Very strange. What's the sneaking sound? Going to take a look here in this bag of mail. Oh no!
Now you just open the ReachCast mailbag.
Woo! Here's a community question. Who's creepier? The guy opening the mail or the mailman?
Mailman, for sure.
I don't
Guy
know.
opening the mail.
Ooh, what's this? Yeah, see, I'm going with Mark on this one.
All right, we have a couple good calls for the week. We'll start off with Mono's call.
Hey, I think he was at PAX East.
Take two. Pleasure meeting Deringer at PAX East. I'm on my way home. Sorry for the audio quality. Thank you, SOE, for the event. Maggie, it was amazing. Me too. It was a pleasure and opportunity I wanted to miss. I just wanted to say about the metagame. And saying that there doesn't seem to be an end goal for anyone. I was wondering if you thought maybe if we had more specific objectives. I know that we tried certain days where everyone fight on one continent. But maybe if there's certain days we fight on one continent and then over certain places, and that would kind of channel the fight, and then you get to see particular strategies that help out making the gameplay more interesting. All right. This was a lot shorter than my last one, so here we go. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Can you decipher what he was saying there, Mark?
Cutting out a lot.
It was some terrible audio quality. I think he was saying how great Maggie and SOE is, and how it was she's amazing and a pleasure.
Yeah, something about like metagame.
There's talking about metagame in there.
Oh, I think he said metagame's cool. I agree.
Well,
I'm sorry, Mono. I really wish I could decipher what the question was. I could not. Like, I listened to this a couple times before I played for the guys, and I couldn't pick it up in its entirety. So,
well, let's do this, Mono. Write in your voicemail to us, and we will make sure that we go over it on next week's show.
All right. The last call is from Ak.
Hey guys, Ak here. I was curious if you all still think that the flak armor is still the best armor to be wearing since they nerfed the blast radius on everything, or if you guys prefer a different kind of armor. I know it would vary between classes, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks. Bye.
Well, Mark, why don't you start off, or Deringer, why don't you start off? Sorry.
Well, I do think that this is something that we haven't talked about in a while, and I agree that perhaps flak armor is no longer the best option to go with in game, since the radius of explosions and things like that has been nerfed so much recently. I've gone back to running Nano Weave, and on my heavy, I've gone back to running with the extra rocket pouch again. So yeah, I'm done with the flak armor with these last changes. How about you, Noxx?
As it should be. I think the change is great. The game was becoming way too explosive centric, and now it's kind of settled down a bit, and I'm really happy with the change. I still use the flak armor because I'm still leveling my NC, so I have like more valuable. Well, I guess it's one cert for some of these things, but my flak armor is up to level 2 on almost all the characters, and it's still useful. So I just have felt like there's been better things to spend my certs on.
I kind of run a combination, so I run flak on my infiltrator. I don't want to go too in depth with it, but mainly because I find myself with sneaking around, I find myself susceptible to running into enemy mines sometimes, and they're without it you get one shot. I mean, it's the short of it.
Yeah.
And my heavy, I don't. I go with the rocket pod or the rocket pouch. I found myself that far more useful to me than the flak. And with my light assault, I run Nano Weave, so it's kind of weird. I don't do a lot of. I'm off the ground so much in the light assault. It's just, I don't know. I find the Nano Weave being more useful to me, but like I said, there's a combination. Just depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah,
so.
I should have mentioned I have the second level of rocket pod on my heavy, and light assault I use the run speed. I love that run speed.
I've used the run speed some too, and I find it very good. So that brings a great point. Maybe I should go back and test that a little bit this week. I'll come back and talk to you guys about it next week, because the run speed was great last time I used it. I'll see if check back on that again.
That's some of the best 30 certs I've spent, and I rarely play light assault.
That's all the calls for the week. We did have an email. We had a whole bunch of questions in the email from Louie. And Louie, I can't do all of them, but there were a lot of good ones. We might split them up between the next couple episodes. But there was a good one that I picked out that I thought was funny. Not funny, but it was entertaining. The VS Max suits. Do you guys think they should get jump jets? And why do you think they don't want it to have jump jets? I think he's assuming that, so he doesn't want jump jets on them. But let's go back to the first question. Do you guys think that the VS Max suits should get jump jets?
Well, we can answer these questions together, and I say no, and because people thought it was overpowered. And wasn't it? Max is flying through the air? Give me a break.
Well, I say yes. Bring back the Max jump jets, and at the same time, give the NC1 back its shield, and give the TR1 its ability to lock down and fire faster.
That's in the roadmap, actually. They are giving the shield and lockdown, but they're specifically said they're not giving jump jets back, and they're trying to figure out something comparable to the NC and TR1.
Well, if they don't bring it back, I'm quitting this podcast.
Yeah.
Jeez. I got some dedication for the lockdown, or for the jump jets. I hope they don't give it back, because I want to get rid of you anyways.
Wow. You said you wouldn't say that live on the show.
I'd kid.
Well, it's not live, it's recorded, so you're okay.
That's true. But no, I mean, come on. In PlanetSide 1, they had jump jets. They were very limited. You couldn't increase the amount of fuel that you got on them. So really, the only time you got to use them was to jump up to the top of a wall, or jump up to the first level of a tower. They were very limited in use. They had great situational use to them, but I don't think that they were at any point overpowered compared to the shield or the lockdown ability.
Let's put it this way. My limited PlanetSide experience is that in PlanetSide 2, there are significantly more areas to get up and have an advantage over other players. And I think that's a very valid concern when putting a Max in a spot where it shouldn't be, or wouldn't normally be. And, people light assault hide up in these spots, and they take huge advantage of it. I think the game with more objects, more buildings, more trees, more things to run around and get up on top of and be sneaky, I think it would be a little too good.
They should give the VS Max cloaking.
Yeah, because that wouldn't be.
Yeah, that would be better. Well, I mean, I've played all 3 max suits, and I find the VS max suit to be the weakest of the 3 as it is right now.
Totally. It needs to be stealth. It needs to cloak.
Doesn't need to be stealth. Just give it its freaking jump jets before I quit this podcast.
It needs to be able to
have the same health.
Need to run through shields with it.
And yeah, and I'm not talking about health. I'm talking about weapon-wise. They feel the weakest of the 3.
Oh.
I mean, compared to a Scat Max,
it's got the no drop anti-armor weapon. Give me a break.
Yeah, which has a terrible long reload time.
Oh. They all have long reload times.
All right, before we
I feel it's
battle to the death over VS, max balancing.
To my point, though,
you have
lockdown,
no point.
Isn't something people did with lockdown is like stick maxes on top of vehicles and stuff?
No.
I heard they did.
It's a lie.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
never happened.
Crazy. I thought someone said that. I was going to say I doubt that would happen in this game. So.
Of course it would happen. They'd be all on the wings of a galaxy flying around.
I mean,
that'd be awesome to see.
Possible, not that it wouldn't happen.
That would be awesome to see. I would love to see that. Okay.
Okay, let's get to the part where everybody loves.
Oh yeah,
the drinking game. The ReachCast Torkz can't pronounce names game. All right, these are the thank yous for the week. Sunny, Jaloro.
Oh, we got it finally.
Rack.
Charm.
Spartan 117. I'm not even gonna try that one. Fear.
I'm going with fur. I think
I'm going with fear. Fear is right.
Oh.
PHYR is fear. Good job.
Good night. FOD. Exicor.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a bad one. You're right. Razzie Man. Chinky. Slayer of Tacos. Nocturnal 7X. Jadano 67894. Jax Cougar Brit.
Wait a second, you totally botched that one.
Did I? What did I say?
You said Jackson. There's not even a J there.
Oh, did I? Vax. Sorry, VAXX. Cougar Brit. Takiota.
Drink.
Whatever.
I believe it's Dakoita.
Czar and Lance Hungwell. Seriously.
Lance plays in Azure Twilight. He's a good guy.
Who is writing these? Oh, man, I need to reread these notes before I start writing these names down. I don't. And by the way, guys, I don't pre-read these names. I try doing the best I can the first time through.
I think it's obvious.
That's what makes it so awesome.
All right.
We asked people to give more input on what they like in the show. I guarantee we're gonna get 7 people saying they love Torkz butchering the names.
I really hope so. All right, let's get the contact info.
Contact info. Our website is reachcastshow.com. Follow us on Twitch, especially with that new contest this week. It is twitch.tv/reachcast. You can email us at reachcastshow@gmail.com. Call us at 415-78-REACH or 415-787-3224. Or you can reach us on Twitter. I am at Noxxia, Noxxia.
I'm at ReachCast Show. It's like it sounds.
And I am at the Deringer.
This is the part of the show where I give a quick thank you to the guys that don't have the voice on the show, but also contribute a great deal, so we appreciate it. And that would be Steve, Cliff, and John. Thanks again, guys. That's it for tonight's show. This episode is over. I don't have anything else to say other than have a good week, and I hope that your jump jet / cloaked VS Maxes do well.
I'm done.
I'm putting on my walnut hat and taking my plush zombie bed and going to sleep. And thank you again to everybody who came out to PAX East. I had a great time. Enjoyed meeting all of you.